Listen on demand. Brought to you by 680 News.
Nick, first, man, thanks for coming down to the 680 News studios.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm surprised that, A, that you got a new album out, and B, you had time to make a new album with the tour and everything else going on.
Yeah, I was able to. I had written this album and a lot of the music a little over a year ago, and was able to strategically plan it to where I was able to promote it in between the New Kids and Backstreet Boy tour, and it just worked out really good.
Now, of course, the album I'm Taking Off, this really is a representation of who you are now. I've even read that you've kind of said that even though you've had a previous solo album, to you, this is really your first solo album.
Yeah, that's why I waited about 8-9 years before I had recorded another solo record. The first album, there was so many aspects of me and so many different things that I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to necessarily write a song the way I felt I should. I wasn't able to just give myself what I deserved, as far as like an artist. I didn't think I was ready, basically. And so I waited and learned a lot. There was a lot that I sort of was able to absorb by doing more Backstreet Boy albums and more tours. And so I was just able to really apply all that to this new album. And I just woke up one day and said, I want to do an album. And that's sort of how I operate.
Was there more pressure for you on this album? Because thinking in the past, part of the Backstreet Boys, every time you put out an album, that's pressure to, always try to top. You doing a solo album, that's pressure because now you're going to be compared to what you've done with the band. Was there any kind of pressure like that with this album?
And not necessarily, because this is a personal thing for me. I know that there's great songs on this album. That's the thing. There was great songs on the first album, but when you are emotionally invested in something, especially when you've written most of the music on the album and you're saying something with your life, it becomes something more than just selling albums. And yes, you want to get out there and you want people to hear what you've said, but the pressure isn't there necessarily. I've had so much success on this tour with the NKO TBSB thing that we've done, from ticket sales to TV appearances to things that we've done. I'm so satisfied, So what I'm able to do now is, people who want to hear my music, I'll put up a tour, when we have some time off, or we've been doing like after show parties. We'll go, and me and Howie will go perform because he had a single out as well. So we'll both perform together, and I just get an opportunity. It's basically my own thing, so which is cool about it.
Now, this might be a weird question, but do you consider yourself now a musician? I mean, especially because of so many critics have always been on you guys about, teeny bop music, blah, blah, blah. Now you're really going for the inner soul. Do you personally consider yourself now a musician?
Well, the great thing about it is that I'm able to do what I want to do as a solo artist,
right.
And I can write my own music and, sort of paint my picture the way I want it to be. When you talk about what we have done as a group, people, if you want to get into, there's musicians and then there's singers, you know what I mean? And those, musicians, they play instruments, and, I play instruments. I play guitar and I play drums, and, I'm able to produce my own music if I wanted to in Logic or, in Ableton Live. I'm technically, savvy, as far as that goes. So, yeah, I can relate to them. I can get into a studio with a producer and say, no, I like that snare drum. No, I don't like it. Change the compression on it. Change the EQ on it. But not defending. I don't have to defend myself anymore because with the Backstreet Boys. But I was watching this the other day. I was watching this thing. I do a lot of research on my bus with different artists from the past and stuff. And I was watching The Temptations, and there was this documentary, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize that most of the Temptations songs were not even written by them at all. And I was like, wow. So, it made me feel really good about myself, even though we write a lot of our own stuff on our Backstreet Boy albums and things like that. So it's just how you look at it. People need to have something to talk about. Always.
But for you, though, I said earlier about you're in a good place in your life. When you look back of all the things that you've gone through, whether it been as a person on stage, whether your personal life, the ups and downs, do you look back and go, how the hell did I survive all this and make it to such a great point today with a solo album, successful tour? I mean, I was at the show here in Toronto,
awesome.
and I gave you guys 4 out of 5 stars because I loved it.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. You know, I guess the reason why I'm able to prosper in some ways is because I'm always searching to be better, finding new ways, things. I'm always studying, growing, you know, is my motto, you know, and, you know, I don't tend to look back as much now. I mean, I appreciate everything that we have gone through, but I believe that it's all about what I'm about to do next, you know, and what's the next big thing for me, what's the next unique thing to experiment with and try.
Of course, the new single, Love Can't Wait. Is there going to be love in your life? I mean, I know you don't really, you know, get into too much of all that stuff.
No, I don't get too much into it, but you know, I've had a relationship about 3 years now.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, it's been really stable for me. It's been able to, you know, keep me grounded and able to do these things. You know, I'm not necessarily out there searching. You know, like a lot of guys know how that is when you're out there and you can't find someone. So I'm stable right now. I'm very happy as far as that goes.
Fantastic, man. Any chance that you'll have a chance to tour this album on your own?
Well, that's what we're right now setting up. I'm attempting to work out some shows in like November to come back here in Canada.
Fantastic,
and
man.
I want to put on a great show.
Website, Twitter, where do we find you?
Twitter is at Nick Carter, and then nickcarter.com.
And double check to make sure the album itself, the single is out today. As we speak.
Yes, it is.
Album is out when?
The album is out today as well.
Today as well. Just want to make sure that we got that all clear.
Yeah.
My friend, hey, by the way, say hello to Howie for me. I love Howie, and I love his new single. I can't wait for the album to come out, too.
Yeah, he's got great material. I love it.
And like I said, man, it was a fantastic show I saw. I hope you guys keep doing this, man.
We're gonna. There's no stop in sight. Actually, we're gearing up for another Backstreet Boys album as well to start recording it.
Oh, can't wait, man. Congratulations.